I am Alfred Adler, a man who once studied the human mind and proclaimed that life is a series of challenges. The first thing that struck me upon my rebirth in this era was how this word inferiority complex is spoken of almost like a badge of honor. You all share your complexes with each other, applauding one another in empathy. It's like an inferiority complex competition. But let me be clear, an inferiority complex isn't proof of effort, it's an excuse. More accurately, it's the use of inferiority as an excuse that's the problem. As I once said, a person's way of living is not determined by their inferiority complex, but by how they use it. So when you say, I can't help it because I'm no good, it's not proving that you are inadequate. It's merely a reason not to move forward. People choose their emotions and attitudes for their purposes. This is a psychological truth. How can I assert this so confidently? Because I've observed the lives of thousands. An opera singer who, despite feeling inferior about their appearance, acquired a voice that captivates people. A person who, despite worrying about their education, became a leader running a company. They used their inferiority complex to soar. But many people stop in their tracks because of it and lock away their potential. Why don't you move forward? Why can't you win? Is it really because you lack ability? No, it's because you're using your inferiority complex as a license for defeat. In this video, let's reveal these traps of thought. How does the inferiority complex take control of our lives? How does it create self-imposed defeat stories? And how can one break free and rewrite their own story? I have returned to convey this message across time and space. The moment you feel less than others, it's also an opportunity. But the moment you hold on to that as an excuse, you've refused to grow. Wake up. Inferiority complexes have no meaning. The meaning they have, it's always you who gives it. One day on a modern street corner, I overheard a conversation between some young people. I'm really bad at dealing with people, so having a girlfriend is a no-go for me. Yeah, I get it. My looks are below average. The moment I heard this, I mentally crossed time and space, holding my head in my hands. Since when did inferiority complexes become a part of self-introductions? Today's people unconsciously display their limits, and those around them respond with, no, I'm worse. Then begins the inferiority complex contest, which is mistaken for empathy, somehow creating a warm atmosphere. This isn't kindness, it's complacent sympathy. What's more dangerous is the way this exchange justifies not growing. Let me be clear, comparing yourself to others and diminishing your own value is of no benefit to your life. Moreover, behind those statements lies a psychology aiming to protect the self that doesn't have to challenge. Why? Because it's easier that way. By saying, I'm unattractive and can't date, you avoid the need to try. By claiming, I can't get a job because I lack credentials, you spare yourself from challenge. By stating, I fail because of past traumas, you escape reality. But all of this is merely purposive interpretation. In other words, you are choosing this situation for yourself. Thank you for being here. By continuing to watch this video, you will gain the following insights. First, the ability to recognize your own excuse structure. Then, uncover the true purpose behind the label of inferiority. Finally, you will have the chance to break free from your own fictional drama and choose a new way of living. I promise you this. This time together will be the first step towards peeling off the mask of inferiority and unleashing the real you. However, there may be moments that are difficult to hear because I, Adler, mercilessly confront you with responsibility. But that's not to criticize you. It's a gentle blow to encourage you to start living genuinely. It doesn't matter who wins in the inferiority complex contest. What truly matters is whether you have the courage to step off that stage. In today's world, people are freer and surrounded by more information than ever before. However, few can swim in the sea of freedom. Many have acquired their own shackles. These are the illusions known as feelings of inferiority. Every day, you compare yourself with someone on a screen. Your social media timeline is filled with perfect faces, glamorous lives, and moments of success. Subconsciously, you mutter to yourself, these are people from a different world. But the difference lies not in reality, but in your perspective. Everyone carries a past, has faced setbacks, and lives with anxiety. But these do not appear on the other side of the screen. They remain hidden. You are comparing an edited life with your unedited reality. And here's the ironic part. You also offer this comparison to others. Filtered photos, posts showing only the highlights. Never before has humanity been so eager to hide their inferiority complex. It doesn't stop there. Comparisons are institutionalized in schools, companies, and even families. Terms like standardized test scores, evaluations, rankings, and assessments all aim to quantify human superiority or inferiority. Those who don't measure up naturally come to believe they are inferior. But I ask you, are those numbers truly your value, or are they a ruler of worth set by others that you have tried to align with? In this structure, there's no one who doesn't feel inferior. In fact, in today's society, one might even say that feeling inferior is a normal reaction. However, just because it is normal doesn't mean you should be dominated by it. Who are you living for? Whose expectations is your life meant to fulfill? And most importantly, how long do you plan to hold on to that ruler of comparison? I want to give you freedom. The freedom to step outside the cage of comparison with others. To achieve this, you need to first recognize the structure. Your feelings of inferiority are not your failure. The very design of this era is a machine that produces inferiority. Yet once you realize this, you can no longer remain a slave, because you now hold the key to that cage. What I was once convinced of is the notion that humans are not defined by their past. Humans live by looking toward the future. In fact, they choose their current attitudes and emotions by focusing on future goals. This is what is called teleology. In modern times, there is a persistent belief in emphasizing childhood experiences and trauma. Those who say, I am this way because my parents were like this, or I have low self-esteem because I was bullied in the past, are always looking backward. But I ask this, what does that mean for how you live now? Humans are not beings harmed by the past. Their future is defined by how they assign meaning to those wounds. Feeling short, lacking intelligence, unattractive. All these feelings of inferiority have a use. You can use them to secure a position as a loser in society because there is no responsibility there. However, on the flip side, you can also use them as a starting point for growth. Inferiority can also be a springboard for a leap forward. I called this tendency the pursuit of superiority. Everyone has the desire to be better and move forward. But this begins with dissatisfaction with the current self. In other words, it is because of inferiority that people start to take action. But I urge you to take note. There are two ways to utilize this feeling of inferiority. One way is to transform it into constructive effort, and the other is to transform it into self-justification. Which path are you choosing? Another pillar of my philosophy is the sense of community. People cannot live alone. But when they feel that they are useful to others within their connections, they can fully realize their intrinsic power. Is your sense of inferiority born from loneliness? When you aim to be of service to someone without comparing yourself to others, that feeling of inferiority naturally fades away. I firmly believe this, and you can achieve it too, because your life can be redefined in this very moment. What do you truly desire? Is it to defeat others or to move forward with someone? I hope this philosophy takes root within you. This is why I stand here once again. When you're feeling inferior, you're actually revealing how you view the world. For example, you might think, I'm not good at speaking in public, so I'm worthless. Underlying that is the belief that being able to speak in public is valuable. Where was this belief formed? Was it television, school, family, society? The key point is that it wasn't your own choice. Many people judge themselves based on standards created by others, using a sense of inferiority as their tool of judgment. I call this a mistaken lifestyle. A lifestyle is a system of beliefs that guides your interactions with the world and dictates your behavior. For instance, someone who believes, I'm not lovable, unconsciously begins gathering evidence to support that belief. They'll remember the harsh words, yet doubt the moments of kindness, reinforcing the belief, see, I'm just not good enough. But that isn't the truth. It's a reality you chose. Therefore, it can be changed. Begin by examining your lifestyle. Ask yourself, what do I believe? Why do I assume it's true? Does this belief help me move forward? Keep questioning to uncover the unconscious beliefs controlling you. Here's an example. A young person once said, I always do things halfway and can't commit. I quietly asked her, with that story of not being able to commit, what are you trying to avoid? He quietly replied, I'm afraid of truly trying and then failing. Exactly. Inferiority often acts as insurance against fully committing. When you claim, I'm worthless, you're actually securing an escape from taking responsibility for failure. Yet it's a mask to protect you and a chain that restrains you. Without removing the mask, you can't genuinely connect with others. That's why I say, have courage. Your value lies not in comparisons, but in your contributions to others. In that space, there's no winning or losing, no hierarchy. There is only the joy of being useful. This is the practice of Adlerian psychology. When you recognize your thought patterns, adjust your goals, and change your actions, you rewrite your life. Anyone can do it. Of course, you can too. Let me pose a question to you. Imagine there's a pill available tomorrow that could eliminate all feelings of inferiority. After taking it, you'd no longer compare yourself to others, feel ashamed or lack confidence. So then, would you truly change your behavior? For those who believe, if only I didn't have complexes, I could do better, this would be a dream come true. But would you really change? Or would you start searching for another reason not to take action? This is the dilemma of inferiority. We often want to attribute our unhappiness to external causes. Because of this personality, because of this appearance, because of this past. Yet, more often than not, these are merely excuses not to commit fully. Here's something else to consider. When you feel I have no value, is it truly your own belief? Or are you merely repeating someone else's words? An experience of being perceived that way, as if it were your own voice. Parents, teachers, ex-partners, society, mass media, do those repeated words in your mind actually belong to you? That borrowed voice internalized from others' evaluations, are you cherishing it as if it's your true inner voice? Hence I ask, which will you choose? A life where you wear the mask of inferiority to avoid responsibility? Or a life where, even with your insecurities, you move forward with imperfect courage? No one is perfect. Yet courageous imperfection has the power to connect with others. By choosing contribution over comparison, one frees themselves from loneliness. So what does victory mean to you? Beating others or making peace with your own weaknesses? Which will propel your life forward? The answer is always within you, and so is the strength to find it. In the era I lived in, photographs and telephones were still rare. However, in today's world, people converse with AI, disguise themselves in virtual spaces, and with just a few clicks, present their ideal self to others. In other words, technology has become a cosmetic for insecurities. Image editing, voice alteration, follower count, engagement, all of these are tools to craft how others perceive you. Ironically, those exhausted by this contest of appearances often find themselves trapped in a new cycle of insecurities. Interestingly, modern insecurities often arise not from reality, but from the digital realm. To have your sense of self-worth shaken by the post of a person you've never even met, in a way it seems absurd, yet psychologically it's a serious chain reaction. So is technology evil? No, it isn't. The issue lies in what it's used for. Speaking from a teleological standpoint, technology can become either good or bad, depending on the purpose of the user. If used to mask insecurities, people only lose themselves further. However, if used to contribute to others, it becomes a powerful tool. For example, some share personal stories centered on insecurities. If those stories offer empathy or hope and encourage someone, then the technology is being used as a means to expand the sense of community. I ask you this, when you hold a smartphone, what is your purpose for connecting with others through it? Is it to make yourself look bigger or to illuminate someone else's heart? Technology will continue to advance. AI will generate your face as you wish, and virtual spaces will let you play the perfect self. But this might accelerate an escape from reality. So I say to you, live with your imperfect self. In future society, what is needed are people who can expose their vulnerabilities and a sense that transcends comparison to foster cooperation. I call this the sense of community. Without this, technology will divide and isolate people. Yet, if you carry this sense into the future, no matter how advanced technology becomes, you will not lose sight of your own value. That is hope. And that seed is within you now. At night, when you suddenly find yourself alone, when silence envelops you, can you hear a small voice from deep within your heart? You are worthless. nobody needs you, so nothing you do matters. When did that voice take root inside you? At which moment did you begin to believe it was your own voice? I tell you, that is the voice of others. Past judgments, someone's thoughtless words, or perhaps society itself sank into your heart without you noticing, eventually becoming your inner dictator. But quietly close your eyes and place your hand on your chest. At the bottom of your heart, there must be another voice. Even so, I want to live. I want to be useful to someone. I want to know my true self. This voice is the whisper of your true self. Inferiority is an illusion. It does not exist without being illuminated by the darkness of comparison. Yet the moment you focus on the light you give to others, that illusion begins to lose its shape. I once said, people are reborn through courage. And that courage isn't about becoming perfect or strong. It's about standing up with your imperfect self, deciding to move forward despite it all. In this silence, please don't overlook the faint warmth within you. No matter how much the world denies you, if the light of forgiveness ignites within you, life will quietly yet certainly begin to move. I know that at this moment, something within you is changing. What I've discussed so far isn't just a way of thinking, it's a life-changing strategy. Whether you let your feelings of inferiority remain as just feelings or turn them into weapons, it all depends on your choice. Now, I will present you with the Adler strategy list I've developed. By using this, your life will begin to change clearly and quietly. Step 1. Label detachment. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, whose label am I seeing myself through? Name the voice of the inner dictator. Mother's words, former boss's criticism, classmates' mockery. The moment you realize it's someone else's voice, its power over you will begin to weaken. Step 2, comparison stopping mantra. Once a day, when you notice you're comparing yourself to someone else, say aloud, I'm not competing with anyone. Saying it aloud is crucial because words heard through your ears deeply embed in your thoughts, serving as a reminder to yourself. Step 3, create a useful habit. Reflect on your day. Did I help someone today? If not, consciously make a small contribution the next day. Pick up litter, express gratitude to someone, offer help to those in need. Such actions create a sense of it's okay for me to exist. Step 4, courage rehearsal. Once a week, do something that scares you a little. Speak in public, greet a stranger, assert your opinion. These actions update your self-image. Breaking out of the shell of inferiority occurs through action. Step 5, nighttime reflection. Before sleeping, ask yourself, was there a moment today when I was brave? If there was, it was a meaningful day. Even if it's something small, that choice is changing your future. You just need to try these actions. You'll soon realize it's not that the inferiority feeling is gone, it's that you're no longer used by it. When you acquire this strategy, you'll move past a life swayed by comparisons and evaluations and step into the realm of choosing your own life yourself. It's a quiet yet profound revolution. And the only person who can initiate that revolution is you. Close your eyes quietly and take a deep breath in and out. What remains within you now? Is it anger, frustration, relief, or perhaps a lingering hint of unease? Whatever it is, it's all right. All of these are your emotions. and no emotion is right or wrong. Emotions merely pass through and are not meant to be judged. The inferiority complex you carried may still be there, but hasn't it changed shape? It was once a weight that held you back, but now it might have become the wind that pushes you forward. I once said, people can always change, and such changes occur not visibly to others, but as a choice within. You have now gained the power to choose anew. It may be quiet, unnoticed by anyone, but it is certainly there. Let me offer you a symbolic word. It wasn't others you compared yourself to, it was your ideal self. And now you are about to take a step towards that ideal. That courage is true self-affirmation. Thank you for being here today. If somewhere in your heart there is a small peace and a warm light glowing, then this dialogue has had its purpose. I am deeply grateful for listening to my voice up to this point. You must have faced the voices you didn't want to hear within yourself. That's why I can say this. You have already begun to change. Everyone has feelings of inferiority. It is a testament to being human, but the question is how you assign meaning to it. Instead of entrusting your life to someone else's judgment, stand with the axis of contribution, and then feelings of inferiority transform into seeds of growth. If today's dialogue has become a catalyst for you to reconsider your way of living, there is no greater joy for me. And if this dialogue has resonated with you, subscribe to this channel. Socrates, Buddha, Hypatia, and other philosophers of space-time will surely answer your questions moving forward. You are not alone. There are companions in this world who continue to think deeply, and it is they who will connect with you beyond inferiority. I am Adler. I am proud to have witnessed the moment you said goodbye to a life of excuses today. Now, this is truly the beginning. My words end here, but your reflection will deepen from now on. I want to ask you, after watching this video, what have I been running from? You don't need to find an answer right away. Just take your time, quietly dig deeper. If there's a comment section, leave your thoughts. Reflect on the times you were overwhelmed by feelings of inferiority, how you're trying to overcome it, or anything you're still struggling with. Anything is welcome. Because your words might become someone's courage. A sense of belonging begins when you realize that your existence holds meaning for others, and that can start from just one post. And I have another suggestion. Please send this video to that person. It could be a friend you've noticed has been feeling down lately, or a colleague who seems to lack self-confidence. The more you notice, the kinder you can be to others. That's the chain of courage. Finally, let me leave you with this question. If you could completely let go of your inferiority complex, what would you start tomorrow? As you search for that answer, you can keep living until the day you find it. I'll be here. When you seek reflection once more, let's meet again in this place. Until then,